In this month's feature story, a new movie book looks at some of the most notorious mistakes on the silver screen. I'm Jimmy Fink with Max Movie News. Mistakes in the movies. They're legendary in Hollywood history, and now some of the most humorous and memorable movie mishaps are compiled in the new book, Film Flubs, by Hollywood film writer Bill Givens.
And about 2 years ago, I did an article for a magazine, and we did about 30 of these in this particular article. And it was such a hit that the magazine, Premiere, has started a regular column now called the Gaff Squad, and people love to catch these. And I started collecting them after that, and since then, it's turned into almost an obsession.
Film flubs, or continuity errors, are those small elements of a movie that break the flow and logic of the story, such as an historical error, a changing dress color, or a disappearing prop.
Suddenly you're thinking about what you've seen then and not what the story is doing.
Some of the most widely viewed flubs are in the 1989 blockbuster Batman.
In Batman, one of the most noticeable flubs in that is in the scene when they're defacing the paintings in the museum, and they put big handprints on a Rembrandt. They cut away and they cut back, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker is dancing in front of the painting, and the handprints are gone. Then they cut back and they're back again. The ones that I find that amuse me the most are the ones that are like errors of fact or logic.
Like in 1963's epic Cleopatra.
Cleopatra died in 30 B.C., and she comes into an arch that was built in 300 A.D. And North by Northwest is a very funny error in the scene where Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint are in the restaurant, and Eva Marie Saint is about to shoot Cary Grant. And so just before she pulls out the gun, there's a little boy in the background, an extra, and he sticks his fingers in his ears. He knew that shot was coming, and you can see him back in the background putting his fingers in his ears.
And where do the amateur film flub hunters begin in their pursuit of the continuity error?
If you really want to look for a flub, look for the obvious ones, which are the ones when the length of a cigarette changes, or a cigar comes and goes, or the level of liquid in a bottle.
Givens also recommends keeping close tabs on film fashions.
The most notorious is Jagged Edge. When Glenn Close walks into a courtroom, she's wearing one dress. She stands up before the judge in another, and she turns to the jury in a third dress and walks out in a fourth. I was told that originally that scene was supposed to go over 3 days, and when they edited the film, they had to compress it into one.
And with all this time spent finding film flubs, is it still possible to escape at the movies?
It is difficult for me now. I'll have to admit that when I go to a movie, I start scanning the screen trying to find continuity errors, and there are times when you can actually lose concentration on the film. But by and large, you know, people go to these, they get so wrapped up in the story that's going on that they really don't see these. And when they do catch them, it's just so much fun to catch them and share them with people.
I'm Jimmy Fink for Max Movie News.